In a quiet corner of a grand old library in Manhattan, Keanu Reeves sat with a worn philosophy book resting in his hands. The clock on the wall ticked softly, marking a rhythm only he seemed to hear. The world outside was gray with rain, and a low hum of fluorescent lights mingled with the occasional cough of a student or the creak of a wooden chair. He wasn't there for fame or recognition today. He came here often in disguise, hat low and jacket zipped to the collar, seeking the kind of peace only silence and ancient pages could offer. But peace was about to become a stranger. A soft giggle echoed from behind the shelves. Then two girls appeared, twins, barefoot, identical in every way. Long chestnut hair, simple white dresses, and eyes that shimmered like glass touched by sunlight. They stood there, staring at him. Then one stepped forward and whispered something into his ear. Her voice wasn't frightening, but melodic, haunting, familiar. "She needs you before sundown." Before he could say a word, they vanished between the stacks. No footsteps, no rustle, dusk gone. Keanu blinked, heart racing. He wasn't sure if it was a dream, a hallucination, or a call. Keanu leapt from his chair, leaving the book abandoned. He darted through the aisles, row after row, searching for the twins, but no sign. Just the rustling of paper and confused glances from other patrons. "Did anyone see two little girls?" he asked a woman at the reference desk. She shook her head. The security guard checked the surveillance monitor. No one but Keanu appeared on the footage in that corner. The librarian, an old man with wiry gray hair, chuckled softly. "No twins here today. In fact, you're the only one on the third floor for the past hour." But Keanu knew what he'd heard, what he'd seen. That whisper had stirred something ancient inside him. Not fear, not confusion, but a memory, calling. The words haunted him. "She needs you before sundown." Who was she? And how did they know he was the one who needed to hear it? The rain had turned heavier. Keanu stepped out into it without an umbrella, letting the cold soak into his coat. His thoughts returned to a name he hadn't said aloud in over a decade. Elena. Years ago, before the limelight consumed him, before the world knew his name, she was there. Painter, dreamer, a woman who found beauty in broken things. He had been at his lowest, struggling in silence. She didn't try to fix him. She just saw him. They shared nights talking about art and grief. She taught him how silence can heal. One day she disappeared, just left, letter, promised to return. She never did. Could the twins have meant her? Was she still out there? And if so, why now? Keanu stood beneath a flickering street lamp, closing his eyes. "If this is real, guide me." And as if on cue, a single memory flashed. A red brick building with peeling paint. An address he hadn't thought of in years. Driven by intuition, Keanu boarded a subway, gripping the rail tightly as the train rattled through tunnels. His destination wasn't programmed by GPS. It was carved by memory. He walked several blocks, the streets unfamiliar yet oddly comforting. As the clouds cleared, golden sunlight filtered through gaps in the buildings, guiding him. The city was alive, yet in that moment, it felt like it paused for him, as if the universe had bent slightly to nudge him forward. He arrived at a weather-worn building, red bricks, chipped windows, faded sign, East Side Artists Collective. It had once been a place for painters, sculptors, musicians. Now it looked forgotten, but something inside told him someone was still there. Inside, the air was thick with turpentine and dust. Candles lit narrow hallways, and then he saw her, Lena, sitting in a paint-stained chair, aged but unmistakably her. Her hair streaked with silver, her frame thin, fragile, yet her eyes still carried that fire. She looked up. "Mile, you made it in time." Keanu fell to his knees. He couldn't speak. Tears welled. All the years, the wondering, the silence. And now, this impossible reunion. "How did you know I'd come?" he asked. She smiled again. Two girls, in white, They whispered it in a dream last night. They sat for hours speaking in whispers. Time had stolen years, but not the connection. Elena spoke of her illness, a quiet battle she had chosen to face alone, not out of pride but peace. But the twins changed that. They said, "You still carry love in your silence," she whispered. She showed him the sketchbook, page after page of the same two girls. "I saw them every night. They told me not to be afraid, that you'd remember." Keanu held the drawings close. How could dreams and reality overlap like this? But something deeper than logic told him it was real. The sun dipped low. Elena's voice grew softer. She placed a hand over his. "Let this place live. Don't let it die with me." Keanu nodded, unable to speak. And as the last light of the day bathed the room in gold, she closed her eyes. Her breath slowed, then stopped. There was no pain in her passing, only stillness and grace. He stayed with her for a long time, hand in hand, letting silence speak for him once again. As Keanu stepped outside, the sky had turned to indigo. A light mist hovered over the street. And there, under the street lamp, stood the twins again. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. One reached out, placing a glowing hand gently on his chest, right over his heart. Then they turned, faded. He felt warmth in that moment, not sadness, just truth. They weren't ghosts. They were reminders, messengers, memory given form. Weeks passed, then months. Keanu kept his promise. He bought the building, renovated it, brought in artists, dancers, and poets. The Elena Sanctuary for Creators became a haven for lost souls looking to find their voice again. And at the entrance, a mural of two twin girls, smiling in white dresses, hands linked. Sometimes, when the wind is right and the light is soft, visitors say they hear giggles from the old library upstairs. Keanu still visits the old library from time to time. He sits in the same corner, reads the same book, and listens. He never saw the twins again, but he feels them every time someone rediscovers hope through art. Their message was never just for him. It was for anyone willing to listen to the quiet, because sometimes the greatest truths are whispered when the world is silent.